You are listening to the William Gomes Podcast. I am William Gomes and I am grateful to have you here. Today, I want to talk about the earliest roots of autistic development, what was called the foundations that begin long before a child speaks, plays with others, or enters the school. These early pathways shape how an autistic child comes to understand the world, how they make sense of social experiences, and how they develop the cognitive and emotional patterns we see later in life. Understanding these roots does not mean searching for causes or looking for something to fix. It means recognizing how artistic strengths and challenges grow from real developmental differences, and it allows us to offer the right kind of support at the right time in the right way. Autistic development begins differently because the autistic brain processes information differently from the very start. Even in infancy, some autistic children appear more focused on sensory patterns or physical objects than on faces or voices. Others engage with people warmly but may not follow gaze, copy gestures, or respond predictably to social cues. Thus, differences do not signal a lack of interest in connection. They reflect a different way of organizing experience. One of the earliest developmental differences involves attention. Autistic infants may show a deep fascination with movement, patterns, or the sensory qualities of objects. They may spend long periods exploring textures or light rather than shifting attention between people and things. This is not disengagement, is a different distribution of attention, shaped by a brain that processes sensory information with remarkable depth. Another early difference involves prediction and expectation. Many autistic children find routine comforting because it makes the world feel coherent and safe. They learn from repetition, from patterns they can trust, and from environments where change is gentle. When infants experience the world as unpredictable, they may become more inwardly focused or rely more heavily on familiar sensory experiences for comfort. We also see differences in early communication. Autistic children may use fewer gestures or they may communicate in ways that are subtle or unconventional. They might lead a parent by the hand rather than pointing. They might express joy through movement rather than facial expression. They may not always imitate adults, not because they cannot learn, but because their attention is drawn to different aspects of the interaction. Their communication grows from their own sensory and cognitive rhythms. These early pathways shape later development. For example, if a child spends more time exploring sensory details than interpreting faces, they may later find social cues confusing. If a child experiences the world as unpredictable, they may become more anxious about change as they grow older. If the early communication is misunderstood or ignored, they may withdraw or mask their differences to avoid negative reactions. None of these outcomes reflect a lack of ability. They reflect a developing mind moving through a world that is not always aligned with its natural style. Importantly, early autistic development is also rich with strengths. Many autistic children show extraordinary attention to detail, creativity in play, unique ways of exploring objects, and deep curiosity about the world. They may develop exceptional memory, pattern recognition, or sensory awareness long before they enter school. These strengths are part of the same developmental pathways that create challenges, a reminder that autism is not a disorder of deficits, but a pattern of difference. And understanding early development allows us to support autistic children more meaningfully. Instead of focusing on correcting behaviors, we can focus on connection. We can follow the child's interest, join their play, and build communication around what they find meaningful. We can reduce sensory stress, offer gentler transitions, and create predictable routines that help them feel safe. We can support their emerging social skills in ways that honor their natural development rather than forcing them into patterns that do not fit. Recognizing these early differences also helps families. Many parents feel confusion or guilt when they first notice something unusual in their child's development. But when they learn that autism reflects a different developmental trajectory, not a broken one, relief often follows. They begin to understand their child not through the lens of worry, but through a lens of curiosity and respect. When we view autism as a developmental difference rather than a deviation, we honor the whole child. We see their needs clearly, we see their strengths clearly, and we build environments that allow them to thrive rather than struggle. In our next episode, we will explore how these early developmental patterns shape learning, why autistic children learn differently, how their strengths emerge, and how we can create education environments that support them with compassion and insight. For now, I hope this episode offers a gentle reminder that autistic development is not a mistake. It is a variation of human development deserving of understanding, dignity, and celebration. Thank you for listening. This is the William Gomes Podcast. Take care of yourself, stay curious, and I will speak with you again soon.